About 1 year ago, I started my agency, and after starting my agency, I always tried to stick to routines, do disciplines, and I just couldn't stay consistent to anything at all. I'm not the person that would go for 7 to 14 days and then see success. I was the person that would do 2 days and then just completely bomb for 3 days afterwards. And this kept happening over and over and over again until I realized that there's one thing other than discipline and motivation that will unlock both of those things and put them on autopilot, make it easy for you to stick and commit to whatever you're doing, no matter what happens anytime. In today's video, I'm going to break down exactly what that thing is, how I earned it, and how you can do the exact same for yourself in a short period of time. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So to start, I'm going to tell you the story of a private RSC member. This private RSC member was stuck around 1 to 2K a month and was really struggling to scale clients and get past that point. This RSC member thought it was a mental barrier and that it was something they couldn't climb past. So they were trying different routines, different disciplines, waking up at different times, but nothing was working. They weren't getting appointments and they were not closing clients. And what we soon realized with this person is that it wasn't a discipline thing. They were doing everything properly. It was only until someone named Tony Lee, who you might have seen is also SMMA YouTuber, started showing up to more RSC calls and scaling to, not 10K, not 15K, but 17K a month in 90 short days. And as he did that, kept going higher and higher and higher. So this RSC member saw that, and being at 1 to 2K a month, saw Tony as a normal person. He would come on, he would crack jokes, and didn't have this super advanced entrepreneur routine that everyone else seemed to have. And by doing that, he believed. And that is what this whole video is going to be about, belief. He believed it and he saw it to be real, that someone just like him, someone who is normal, can achieve that much money. So that is when the flip switched for that member, and then past that point, he actually scaled to 8.5K within the 2 months after that. And that was exactly how this all happened. So what that little story teaches you is something about belief. And if you're ever familiar with the story of Roger Bannister and the 4-minute mile, it's the exact same thing. In the 1950s, no one believed it was possible to run a mile in under 4 minutes, and people said that if someone tried it, their heart would explode. Right, and then in come Roger Bannister. He was an ambitious individual and one who wanted to challenge the status quo. He said he was going to beat the 4-minute mile, and once he did, it changed the world. And not because he was the person that broke it, because after him, over 80 people in the following 2 months were able to also break that record that was never before thought possible, and for decades, people hadn't been able to pass. And that is really a ridiculous story because it shows the power of belief. When someone believes it is possible, they're going to do their best to do it. And the best way to show belief is to see it as real with your own 2 eyes and experience somebody else doing it. To give a final analogy to hammer this home, if I truly believed that on the other side of this wall behind me there were $10 million and I had to pick up a pen just like this and I had to stab this wall until I broke it down and I got my $10 million, I would start stabbing away with this pen. And it's not because there's anything to do with discipline, motivation, routine. I would wake up every single day and I would pick it up and I would start going like this every single day, no matter what, without failure. Whether the sun is shining, whether I feel good, whether I feel bad, whether I meditate, whether I shower, whether I don't eat, just because I believe that the desired result, everything I want, the $10 million, is right behind it. So I would start going, and that is truly the power of belief. When you believe it is possible, that would only happen if I truly believed it was possible. So at this point, you're probably thinking, okay, belief is something that can allow you to unlock discipline, motivation, but in order for it to actually work, you have to see it happen in real life. So how does this affect my SMMA or anything like that? And here is the answer, because you don't have to necessarily see something with your own 2 eyes or speak to the person who has achieved it. Really, what it's all about is just tricking your mind, right? Tricking your mind into seeing that it's possible, and that can be easily done through either 2 options, right? Option number 1 is to network with other individuals and get into circles where people are achieving these things and see that they're normal people and interact with them. And then option 2, which if you're scared of networking, which I was at first, or you just don't think you're going to be able to do it, surround yourself in every other way with these people as well. So watch their YouTube videos, read their books, consume their podcasts, just do everything to be around that type of avatar person that is achieving success every single day. And by starting to think like them, by the law of, the universal correction or whatever you want to call it, I'm not too big into that stuff, because you are already acting like them, you are going to assume their position. Their position is, 10K a month, 20K a month, 30K a month, 100K a month. When you assume and start thinking like them, you're going to also get into that position. This was exactly what I did, and it was before I joined a network like Private RSC, because I was honestly for a long time too scared to network and really meet people, right? I'd connect with people on Instagram, but I was too nervous and too scared to take that next step initiative to go way further and build a proper relationship with the person. So I was scared of networking, and my alternative to this was reading a lot of books, right? Just like my camera's stacked up on right now, I read every book imaginable that you can think of on successful business stories, on successful entrepreneur stories, on successful mindset, motivation, discipline stories. And I just kept reading them every single day, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, surrounding myself with these people who were already achieving the desired result I wanted. And through doing that, I started thinking like them. I started thinking positively. I started thinking about what I actually wanted to do, and just translating into my business, I was able to get a lot done. And that is exactly how I scaled so quickly. So I know this isn't the mindset tip you were hoping for or the outreach script that is going to get you immediate results. And that's completely fine. And I'll tell you exactly why. Because if you are able to apply what I've said in this video and start surrounding yourself with these people that have achieved the result that you've already wanted, when you start to think like them, your life will change. And it's a tip better than an outreach script. It's a tip better than the cold email sequence, because once you start thinking like these people and once you start becoming that actual person, all that happens by itself. You come up with the outreach script. You can build the system because you are the person that can now come up with it. Whereas instead, what you're doing as a lower level individual at this point right now, if you're not exactly where you want to be at your goal, I'm a low level individual in correlation to my goal. What you can do instead of trying to become that person is stay at your low level. So let's say you're making 10K a month, want to get to 100K a month. You can either, try and collect the droplings of people at 100K a month like this, or you can try and surround yourself with them and then rise yourself up to somebody at 100K a month with your thoughts and how you act. And then eventually you'll just get that 100K a month because you're already acting like the person, and you just need to put in more time and energy, and that will achieve your desired result. So that is honestly how this can be applied. And yeah, like I was mentioning before, if you can do that, you will achieve your desired result. So I know this one was a little bit of a rant, but I also feel as though it is one of the most valuable videos I've put out, because if you can apply it, you'll achieve success, right? And the difficult part is applying it for a prolonged period of time. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope the time that I stole from you was worth the value I provided. And let me know if you want to see more of these ramble style videos where I just shoot some lessons that I've learned in a more in-depth way.